The player of the season so far. What Adeola Depot and I are going to do is come up with the 5 best players in the Premier League this season. We're going to formulate a list. They may or may not be the same. There have been some iconic performances this year, some surprising, some predictable. Helping me go through this today is the wonderful Adeola Depot. Make sure that you subscribe to his YouTube channel. The link is in the description. Addy.
Yes, sir.
This is important. We've got to get this right.
Yeah. Well, especially after our Aguero thing.
People didn't like it.
Didn't like that, did they? Didn't like that.
People didn't like it. Even our friends didn't like it.
My mum. No, joking.
No. It wasn't a popular shout from us. But on this, standout performers this season. Lots of players have tried. The vast majority have failed, but some have shone. Some performers have gone beyond themselves.
It's difficult though to kind of pick 5 that have gone all the way from August to Feb. Like a few have had good moments, good little stretches, 3 or 4 month stretches, scored some goals, defenders have played well. Not many, I don't think, have done the full, what is it now, 7 month season. Yeah, not many.
No.
There's not an obvious one. Like last season it was obvious, Haaland. Do you know what I mean? It's obvious, like no point even thinking about it. There isn't an obvious favourite anymore. It'd be interesting to, like if this was sponsored by a bookie, it'd be interesting to know who the bookie's favourite.
I think there are some standout.
Favourite.
I think there are some standout players. And the other thing I think we have to bring into this is maybe what you expected. So a standout performer of the season, considering everything, you could potentially, I'm not going to do this, but you could potentially argue that the player of the season so far is Dom Solanke. You could argue. Okay. Because what you expected of him, compared to what he's delivered, compared to where he's doing it, who he's doing it with, I think that he has been a standout performer, not a player of the season for me. But
if we're going down that angle, and look, Dom won't make our top 5, right? Let's be honest, but I know what you're doing. If we're going down that angle, this kid could make the top 5. I say kid, he's not a kid anymore. He's quite mature. John McGinn.
Excellent.
For Villa.
Excellent.
Has been fantastic for them. So important, right? He's been like literally their captain fantastic. You know me and you always talk about captains are different now compared to what they were back in our day. He is kind of built off that mould of the 90s and early 2000s.
He's Dennis Wise, isn't he?
He is, isn't he?
He is Dennis Wise.
He will run round and he will work and work.
Excellent player. Ollie Watkins had a very good season.
Yeah, goals and assists. I think apart from Haaland, who obviously scored a couple the other day, I think he was in front of every striker for goals and assists.
Really?
Like the combination of the two, yeah.
And then there's the obvious, isn't there? Rodri, Rice, Haaland, Salah,
Trent.
The standout, Trent Alexander-Arnold, absolutely.
Yeah.
There are those standout players that are always standout. See, no, that's interesting, Gabriel. I think Gabriel, I said something the other day that got a lot of traction, but a lot of stick as well. Look, you know how highly I rate Declan Rice, but I said that Gabriel has been Arsenal's best player this season. And I kind of said it off the cuff. I wasn't really thinking about it.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm wrong. I just thought he had a brilliant game. He scored. I said he's been brilliant all season. And because of the conversation, I was like, he's been their best player this season. People went nuts. It isn't that
No, it's not that wild at all.
He's been the best centre-half, definitely.
It's been fantastic. Some might say, obviously, you know what it is? It's the Ferdinand Vidic thing, isn't it? Where Saliba's Ferdinand, it's silky, it's beautiful, it's nice. Whereas Gabriel is very much Vidic. It's robust, it's flying into challenges, it's strong, it's ready for a fight. And it's what you want. What do you like? If you like the Ferdinand type, you're always going to go Saliba. I like the, roll up sleeves up and have a fight. And I think Gabriel's been fantastic. I always thought that he was a bit too, I don't know, like his temperament was a bit off before, but he's obviously grown, he's matured, he's got Saliba, who might be the best centre-back in the league next to him. And I think Gabriel,
it's an amazing partnership,
fantastic.
Isn't it?
It's the best partnership in the Premier League.
Yeah.
It's the best.
I think they're right. And have you seen the work that they've been doing on the training ground in terms of their set pieces? Arsenal are the best side for scoring goals from set pieces.
They're not small anymore.
16.
They're not small.
No.
They're not small. They've got boys that can put the ball in the back. Like Declan Rice's delivery, Odegaard delivery, Martinelli's delivery. They're good.
Gabriel has scored 15 goals in all competitions since he joined the club in 2020.
Solid.
No centre-half, no defender has scored more goals in that period.
He's a threat.
He's now become a threat at both ends. And for Arsenal to launch a serious bid for the league, goals across the team is so important.
What about their obvious ones? Have they just not had good seasons? And the obvious 3 being Odegaard, Saka, Martinelli. Have they just not had the seasons where there in this conversation. Martinelli, no, we can remove him immediately. He's not had that season.
No.
Odegaard and Saka?
I don't think so.
Saka's been off his lofty standard, hasn't he? He's not set it alight.
People,
as he
when you say
did.
this, you're going to experience this now. You're going to get a lot of people sending you messages telling you the numbers. So Bukayo Saka's numbers this season, goals and assists, they're good, mate.
Yeah.
They're impressive. And I think people who love Saka, or sometimes maybe even just Arsenal fans, will combat what you just said with those numbers.
The thing about that is there's a difference between, and this is what I hate about numbers and stats and what's that thing again? Goal that a team can get. What's it called again?
XG.
Oh, I can't stand it.
Yeah.
Just watch the game.
Yeah.
Just watch the game and you'll know Saka's not been at what he was last season or the season before.
I know, I agree.
He's just
with you.
not that.
I find that weird.
watch it.
That weird academic approach to football.
Can't stand it.
It doesn't tell you the story at all. Football is a game of emotion. It's a game of passion. It's a game that you can feel. It's a game that you understand through like visceral ways. It isn't a pie chart.
No, my greatest player of all time is, as you know, R9.
Yeah.
If it was on stats, he wouldn't be a top 100 striker.
Oh, could you imagine?
Do you know?
Could you imagine if Twitter
in
was
50
around?
years' time, they're gonna, when people talk about R9, they're gonna laugh and say, "Yeah, but look at his goals and assists."
Yeah.
They're not even gonna rate him.
I know.
So no, I'm not. I just watch football. Just watch it.
I completely agree.
So Saka's been a bit off. So Saka
But
wouldn't make it for me.
Saka's not in this. If there are two Arsenal players, I think, that are in this conversation. Gabriel, Declan Rice.
Fair. Okay, let's put those two down then.
Gabriel, Declan Rice are in the chat.
They're in the chat.
They're in the
conversation.
chat. Mohamed
From Arsenal.
Salah is in the chat.
Yeah, I think so.
Has he been as good as? Has he been as good as you want?
No, the standards are so high for him.
Yeah.
The standards are
He's
so
almost
high.
punished by being
He's
so
punished
good,
by,
isn't he?
Yeah. Like,
imagine if Jared Bowen was having the season that he had.
Yeah.
You'd be like, this guy's got to start for England.
I think Salah's the second top goal scorer in the Premier League. And by the way, he's missed 6 games or 5 games because of AFCON and the injury. And he's still second top goal scorer. But the standards are so high for Salah that he's been maybe just a little bit off that standard.
Yeah.
Still in the conversation, but if it was announced tomorrow and Salah got it, I'd be very surprised.
Yeah.
So he's a bit off for me.
What about players maybe that are playing for clubs that aren't necessarily doing that well? Because I think it's important to try and factor that in if we can. So I think Cole Palmer's been a revelation for Chelsea, for example.
Revelation.
He has been
agreed.
basically exceptional. I mean,
Agreed.
I'm thinking about other clubs. That Fabian Schär's a good player, isn't he?
Yeah.
Very good player.
Yeah.
You know,
I think Cole Palmer's a great shot, by the way. I think you just skipped over it too quick.
I'm just trying to think
I
of
think
players.
for what he's done at Chelsea,
Yeah.
for him to be, I have to be honest with you, when City let him go, I was like,
No.
like, he's just all right, isn't he then? He's just all right. He's literally been your best player by some distance.
Oh, yeah. He's also one of the only players
Got
at
a bit
the
of
club.
arrogance a bit about him
He's
as
also
well.
one of the only players that has that, like you know, when you can see silk, like player.
You know what I didn't know he had? What I didn't know he had? Pace.
Yeah.
I saw him against Palace the other day and he was running down the wing and I was like, you can run as well.
He's 2-footed. He's got a great eye for a goal. You've got to remember, this season already, he's won European silverware for Man City. You know, he scored for Man City at Wembley this season.
Yeah, this season.
He's clearly like a big game player.
Mate, nothing more big game than scoring that 93rd minute penalty against City, 4-4. Nothing more big game against that. So,
No, Cole Palmer has been like exceptional for us. He really has.
I know Spurs fans right now, I know he missed a few because of a hamstring injury, but Van der Ven, for them has been sensational.
Son,
He literally has
Richarlison.
come and done, not a Van Dijk. I'm not going to say he did that when but he's literally solved the whole back lot.
Yeah.
Van der Ven. He's
And the
come
keeper,
in and
man.
everything's sorted. Yeah.
And the keeper.
Yeah, Vicario. Yeah.
But what if a Tottenham fan were here?
Yeah.
Who are they? Say we said, and it doesn't have to be this, for this game, we could have 5 players from the same club. But say we would say to a Tottenham player, who is it? The guy. Who's the player? If you were to say you can only have one, but they could have more than one. I'm not suggesting that any team needs to only have one. But if Tottenham fans were to say one player, what do you reckon they're going to say?
I think they would say Son. And the only reason I think they'll say Son is because Maddison missed a chunk.
Son? But
Son.
mate, there's others. There's like
Richarlison's had
Udogie.
Mate,
Udogie.
Mate, Udogie has been fantastic.
Is Udogie the best on-form left-back in the league? Yeah, he is, actually.
Yeah.
He is.
He is. Oh, mate, you know what? It's a great shout, Udogie.
Udogie.
Well, I wouldn't have mentioned him.
Wouldn't you?
No.
No, Udogie was my...
I would have probably gone about 4 different Spurs players
you
before
said
I
him.
mentioned Udogie.
That shows you how well Postecoglou's doing, doesn't it?
Mate, you know what? Best left back in the Prem. That's
Big.
big.
Who? Is it Son for Tottenham though? It's all very well paying homage to everyone else. Is it Son?
Sensational. Yeah, I think he's taken on that mantle from Kane. And there was a time when Maddison was out and you're thinking, oh, they're going to struggle now. And he's decided to kind of put it on his back. And look, Richarlison's chipped in with a few goals. We've got to give him credit. Kulusevski at time as well. But Son's he's got 10 goals or something like that. And he's missed, again, he missed a chunk of games because of the Asia Cup.
Yeah.
So I think Son would be. But I think, we don't like to give it to defenders too much, do we? Because it really should be a Dogie because he's not missed anything.
I think it is a Dogie at Tottenham.
Yeah.
I really do.
All right, what about the big boys at the top of the table? I say that we are the top of the table, but
If
you know
I'm
what I'm talking about.
if I'm sort of doing it from 5 up, if we build out a table, I think my 5th best player in the league this season is Destiny Udogie. I'm nailing that.
Wow.
I'm nailing him
You're
in there.
banking that. Remember
him
what me and you do? We always make mistakes when we bank players early.
Are
you sure you're going there early?
I don't want to do this, but he has to be in there. He is so good.
4th in the league as well?
4th in the league, largely because of him and players like the players that arrived. This wasn't meant to happen. This wasn't it. I think Postecoglou came in with big ideas, but not this. Like they're going to qualify for Europe.
If I'm banking a 5th, I'm going John McGinn. Okay. If I'm banking a 5th, I'm going McGinn.
Do you think he's been that good? Yeah, that consistent all season.
I think literally he is the glue.
Okay.
I think he's the glue to that team. And look, I don't watch Villa every single game. Every single time I do watch them, especially early part of the season, sensational. It's funny because there's a lot of talk about Steven Gerrard trying to ship him out and not wanting to play him. He's come back in and he's been fantastic. I know people will like depends what you like. Some people will like the skills of a Douglas Luiz outside of the foot passes and all that kind of stuff. Just give me robust midfield, Henderson Milner type, and he's that. And I think McGinn would be. Villa had such a good season. It'd be remiss of me not to put a Villa player in that top 5.
I think that's fair. That's a fair way of looking at it. Yeah. When you look at the league table, somebody has to be in there. They have to have a representative.
They have to.
Weirdly, they don't have a representative in my list, but I think it's a really good. I think it's a really good argument.
Let one of us get him in. They've just done so well.
But then, do you have a Tottenham player in your list when you think about the top 5?
I didn't.
See, this is the thing.
I didn't until you.
See, weirdly, I feel like Liverpool have been so cohesive and so brilliant.
One player hasn't stood out.
Yeah.
See, Alisson for me has to go in. I know we don't do goalkeepers. Alisson has to go. He literally is the reason we're top of the table. Oh, one bad one.
At the most important.
City. How did he perform against City?
City was
Arsenal with the kick. Arsenal
and City then.
Oh man, 2. It's only 2. He saved
the 2 biggest games of
Rory,
the season.
You know what it is? Because he's the only. Obviously, that's the only team I will give 94 minutes of my time to every single week. So I watch him all the time, and the amount of goals he has saved us, it don't make sense.
See, if I was to say a Liverpool player, if we were to play that game, I would have gone Trent, Van Dijk.
The Van Dijk one's an interesting one.
Is it another centre half?
No, certainly not Matip, Gomez or Konate.
Konate's had a good season, man.
He's been off. Matip starts when he was injured. Konate comes in.
Konate's been good this year.
He's been good, but he's not.
No?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
No.
It's tricky, this. So you're having...
I'm having Alisson in there.
Okay, my 5th is Destiny Udogie.
Okay, so my 5th is John McGinn. My 4th is Alisson. Not Trent, not Salah. I'm going Alisson.
It just can't be Alisson, man.
Mate, he has saved us so much. And we're top of the table.
He's not the best keeper in the league this year.
Who is?
I mean, that's a different question. That's up for debate.
I wish we could do that show straight after this one. There's not a better keeper than Alisson in the league this year.
Maybe we will. Okay, let's keep this on track. Let's keep this on track. My number 4 player of the season, the 4th best player in the Premier League this season, is Cole Palmer.
Can't argue.
Cole Palmer. So it goes Destiny Udogie.
Can't argue. I think your list might beat my list.
Cole Palmer is where I'm going. Solid. Is where I'm going next.
No Chelsea bias?
I don't think so.
I've probably done a bit of Liverpool bias with Alisson. I probably have done a little,
I don't think I have any Chelsea bias because I'd say 90% of these players I don't like. So I find this is the most. I love Cole Palmer, yeah, but I feel like this is the most dislikable crop of Chelsea players.
For you to be as rubbish as you've been, you've won 10, lost 10. I looked at your goal difference today. You know what your goal difference is?
Are we up at least?
1.
Okay, that's
your goal difference is 1.
Success. I take it.
+1. But he has been the star.
Yeah,
He's been a star. Early in the season, it was like a little battle between him and Sterling. Like I thought, and Sterling's dropped off again.
I know.
By the way, dropped off again.
He missed such a good chance. There was
Mate,
you know when we
what's happened?
We got battered by Wolves at home.
Yeah.
And there was this moment. It was a lovely ball played over the top by Cole Palmer. Played over the top. You know when those balls are hit by a professional football player with such a cut through the ball that it kind of goes really high and you think it's overhit that, and it just drops dead like a golf ball.
Okay.
Drops dead on Ben Chilwell's late run round the back. Chilwell does perfectly. He just cushions it back. Everyone thinks he's either going to go to goal or drill it across. Cuts it back where it came from to Sterling not quite on the edge of the box, but penalty spot-ish with a bit of an angle.
I saw exactly what you're talking about.
Sterling just dragged it wide.
Exactly
If that goes in, we get.
You know what you just did there? That was a perfect Gillette Soccer special 60 seconds where Jeff throws it to you.
Yeah.
Rory, what's going on at the game?
Yeah.
What have you seen, Rory?
Yeah, I know.
Cut it perfectly round the corner.
It was like, no, but you know that moment, that little tiny moment in that game?
Mate, he's just
not...
Like
Sterling.
He might be one of the worst top player finishes I've ever seen.
I think he leaves in the summer.
Yeah.
I think he leaves.
I don't think he leaves. I think he's sold. I don't think he goes by choice. You don't leave Chelsea by choice. I think he goes...
I think he might.
It just America, Saudi.
He's too young for that, don't you think?
Mate, he's got miles on the
legs.
He's
got miles on the clock.
Mate, he's like if he was a car, he's got 150,000 miles on the clock.
Yeah, but he's also incredibly young.
29?
Yeah, for a professional footballer.
Mahrez has gone there, and Mahrez can't be that much older.
No, I don't think Raheem Sterling. I think he could. I think he will leave Chelsea. I don't think it's worked for him.
Anyway, so you got Palmer as fourth.
Palmer is fourth. Yeah, I'm struggling now because I know who my number one is. We haven't mentioned.
Guys, can I say this to you at home, by the way? Because you always get upset with me and Rory. Like, this is just off the cuff. So I know a lot of you are going to moan and say, "Oh yeah, have you missed out on that person?" It's not easy. It's not easy. All right, sorry.
Where I'm struggling here is obviously I've only got 3 spots left, and I've got two. Arsenal in my head, players. I've got 2 Arsenal players to still put in this team.
Wait, we've not mentioned any Man City players yet.
Well, we can talk. Look. Haaland needs to be discussed. No. Rodri needs to be discussed. Bernardo Silva always needs to be discussed.
See, I think they're a bit like Liverpool. And I know you might disagree, and you've got your right to, but I think they've all been spread out. I don't think there's been one.
No, there's been.
Foden got the hat-trick the other day. Everyone's gone mad about Foden. I'm like, unless I'm missing something, I don't remember it from August until now. No, I don't. I do not remember it from August to now. I really don't. I think Nathan Ake's had a better season from start to now.
Oh, Foden's the man.
You know, Foden's a baller.
No, this season,
I just don't know if it's been that to that.
Yeah, it has.
I don't remember it.
It has. He's been. Whenever they've been asking, whenever they've needed him, whenever they've called.
How many goals he got? Go on, you got your laptop.
Off the top of my head.
Go on, no, you got your laptop. How many goals he got this season?
How do I find that out?
Man City top goal scorers.
Goals this season: Phil Foden. Bear with.
Go on. 10?
He's been exceptional this season.
Okay.
Like, he really has. He has... Can't be right. 14. Is that right?
14 goals this season.
Has he played 35 games this season?
Yeah, he would have. He would have played 23 in the league.
Yeah.
Champions League, FA Cup, League Cup, potentially. I don't know.
Started 30, if this is right.
No,
started 30.
Yeah. If he really got 14 goals.
14. Look, am I doing this right?
Yeah. All
competition.
Wow, fair dues. Take all that back. What I just said. Foden's my top 3.
Foden's in mine, definitely. The problem is, when you think about how good City have been, is there more than one City?
No, I'm sorry. I'm not having that. What do you mean how good City have been? Liverpool top of the table and have only lost twice.
Yeah.
And are in every single competition. So how can Liverpool not... how can you just say what you just said, how good Liverpool have been, when Liverpool are top of the table and have only lost twice and once was to a corrupt...
Yeah, okay. The difference is, though, the way that Liverpool play, the way that Jurgen Klopp approaches football, it is very much team.
Yeah, but we've scored as many as those. Our goal difference is exactly the same,
isn't it? It's everything about Liverpool is the team. So, for example, when Liverpool were winning European Cups, Jordan Henderson was never the best player in the league, but he was one of the most important players in the best team in the country.
You're right, but we have a midfield like that. But as you mentioned, I'm happy you mentioned that, we still had those 3 flair players up front.
You could put Salah in. I don't think it would be wild.
I don't think it would be wild.
I don't think it would be wild for you to put Salah in. He doesn't quite make my list.
I've put Alisson in, but yeah.
Do you know who I'm putting in next? Because
what have you got? 5-4.
So I've gone Udogie, Palmer.
Yeah.
I'm now going to go
Declan Rice.
I'm not going to go Declan Rice because I don't know how this is going to go. I am going to go Arsenal though. I think it has to be Gabriel.
Oh.
It has to be. We can't. Gabriel's been one of the best players in the league. Like, that's a fact. Like, it is a fact. You know when you watch Match of the Day?
I can't have.
You know when you watch Match of the Day? He's always at the epicenter of it. Whatever's going on at Arsenal.
Has Gabriel been better than Van Dijk this season? Has he been better than Virgil van Dijk?
I think Gabriel's been one of the best
Virgil van
defenders in the
Dijk
league.
has had to battle by having Gomez next to him, Matip next to him, Konate next to him.
Konate's been brilliant.
He's literally had 4 centre-backs next to him this season. Virgil van Dijk. Gabriel's had Saliba.
Gabriel's been better. Gabriel's been the best centre-half in the league.
Nah.
He has, though.
No, he hasn't, no. He hasn't, no.
You couldn't name a better centre-half in the...
Virgil van Dijk.
He's not.
Virgil van Dijk, he is.
Virgil van Dijk
He
isn't the
is.
best
He
defender
is.
at Liverpool this season. He isn't the best
He is.
centre-half at
He is the
Liverpool.
best.
He
He
isn't.
is.
Konate's had a brilliant season,
No,
man.
he hasn't.
He has.
No, not like Virgil, he hasn't.
He has. You just love Virgil van Dijk.
No, he hasn't.
You're doing for Virgil van Dijk what I've done on this video in the
Konate has
past for
played a
Bernardo
third
Silva.
of the games.
This is
He's
Bernardo
played a third
Silva.
of the
This is
games.
Bernardo Silva. You're
No.
doing Bernardo Silva
Virgil
because
van
you
Dijk-
love him.
Virgil van Dijk's been fantastic.
You know how I love Bernardo Silva, and I just make a case
Virgil
for
van
him.
Dijk's been fantastic. Gabriel's not been better than him.
If you want to put Van Dijk,
No,
on
no,
your
you
list,
can. No, I'm not.
Gabriel's in my list. Gabriel is next on my list. I think it just is Gabriel. Whether I don't know what
I take back what I said earlier. Next on my list. Oh, it's tough, this. It's tough, this.
See, I've got two Arsenal players
I'm
in a
going
row.
Declan Rice.
Okay,
as
Declan
my
Rice is on
third.
my list, but
Declan
next.
Rice is my third. I think he's been just a machine.
Declan Rice is my second.
Rolls Royce.
Second.
After the goal that he smacked in against West Ham. You know, I'm starting to think, and I'm going to get a lot of stick here. You know, there's the Rodri, Declan Rice debate. It's now
the gap
starting
is
to
narrowing, man.
narrowing.
The gap is narrowing.
Narrowing. And Declan Rice was almost like Arsenal have allowed the shackles to come off. Whereas Mr. Negative David Moyes wouldn't let him go past the halfway line without screaming.
Yeah.
Arteta's
No, but
like,
he's also
"Be
become
free."
something else. He's also become something that I don't think
Confident.
anybody would have
He's
anticipated.
confident now. He's scoring goals as well now.
Last minute winners.
Mate, that ball he put in for Gabriel against West Ham, dare say was Gerrardesque. He whipped it. And then he smacked it like who?
You know
Like Gerrard.
the reason that Arsenal are scoring all these goals from set pieces? They're the most potent. So you would have thought probably who'd be the most potent? Maybe City, obviously they score loads of goals. Maybe Liverpool, they score loads of goals. Everton, you'd think.
Yeah.
Sean Dyche, corners.
Yeah.
Arsenal, with this new guy they got, their new corner guy, they're scoring more goals. And Declan Rice is taking all the corners. They've scored 3 or 4 more goals than Everton, who were the second best. I think it's 16-13 in Arsenal's favour for goals from set pieces. Goals
Mate, you
from
know,
corners.
as you're talking, it's just dawned on
It's
me.
Declan Rice.
It's just dawned on me that you're not going to put a Liverpool player in here. And Liverpool in February.
No, but I could
are in
argue that the team-
Yeah, but
It's a
they're in every
team.
single
Trent
competition.
Alexander-Arnold-
You understand what you're doing, Rory? We're top of the table, top of the Premier League.
But I don't know who I leave
and
out
have
then.
only lost 2 games.
So what would be the
no,
answer?
I'm not saying.
No,
I'm just
I
saying
think
for
it's
you.
interesting.
Like,
I don't mind.
You're not putting a Liverpool.
I don't mind
player
trying to
in.
work
You've
it.
got 2 Arsenal. You're going to have 2 Arsenal in here.
But the 2 Arsenal players, Rice and Gabriel. Rice is my second, by the way. Rice and Gabriel are 2 of the best performers out of the top 5 players in the Premier League. Like that's. I don't think I'm being biased. I don't want to put Arsenal players in. I don't care about them. I just think it is that. I just think that's who it is. I can't leave out Adogi. I can't leave out
I
Palmer.
will make the case for you to have the big man up in there. And the reason I say this is
Virgil.
the reason I say this.
'Cause
and
you love him.
You know, no, yes, true. But every single great partnership, centre-back partnership we've had has been based on what I just said, a partnership. The history of the Premier League. This guy literally had 4 centre-backs with him this season. I'm not even 4. Do you know, and Liverpool's still top. He's had 4. He's had to literally look next to him. Oh, it's another one. All right, he's holding their hand like he's taking them to the nursery.
I'm not sure,
Every
man.
single time. Gabriel has looked at, Saliba. Oh, it's easy. It's easy. He's literally had to have
mate, it's not. It's,
Matip, Konate,
Okay, but
Gomez, young
But
Kwanzaa.
effectively, what you're doing is factoring in reasons to say this is why he hasn't played as well.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that at all. I think he's played very well.
Well, then it doesn't matter who he's had to play next to.
Nice, come on.
No, you're either
his
saying
job's harder.
You're either saying he's had to play.
What I'm trying to
next.
say is that he's done as well as Gabriel and Saliba, but I think his job's been harder because those 2 have been ever present with each other.
I don't
If Virgil van Dijk, if Virgil van Dijk, had,
it's a democracy. It's my
Alright, go on,
list. Don't
go
worry
on.
about it. It's my list. Rice is in, Gabriel's in, and If I were to put a Liverpool player in, it's not
got?
even Van Dijk.
What have you got?
If I were to put a Liverpool player in,
You'd go Salah.
No, I think I'd go Alexander-Arnold.
Okay, fair.
By the way, you've put Alisson in already.
Yeah.
Are you putting Van Dijk in as well?
No.
So he's not in your list either.
No, because I haven't got Gabriel in mind. Because you've got a centre back in, and I've
put in a centre back who's having a better season. That's normal.
Not having a better season.
Okay, so I'm up to 2. I've done Declan Rice second.
Oh,
I've got one player for a reveal.
Obviously, which one you're going to reveal.
Where have you done your?
No, so I've got Alisson, I've got McGinn, I've got Declan Rice. Oh man.
Who is the second best player in the league for you this season?
In terms of what he's done this season, which has surprised me, in terms of overachieving. Oh, mate, this is hard. This is so hard.
Come on, who's number 2?
Ollie Watkins.
That's ridiculous.
Goals and assists.
That's ridiculous.
More goal contributions as a forward than any one of them in terms of goals and assists.
Ollie Watkins hasn't had a better season than Cole Palmer.
You got Cole Palmer in your list?
Yeah, I haven't got Watkins. You haven't got Cole Palmer.
What's the problem with that?
You haven't got him in your. You haven't got Cole Palmer in your list. You got.
He's
Watkins.
overachieved. He's playing for a smaller club. Cole Palmer's playing for mighty Chelsea.
Playing for a team
from
that's
Man
12th.
City, mighty Chelsea, 10th. Yeah, you got up a couple of places.
Okay, you've had a mare on this list.
It's hard.
The number 1.
I think I've had a mare.
Okay, number 1 for me.
Number 1 for me. Got it. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Foden.
You agree?
Foden, I agree.
Foden is a standout.
I'm trying to find
an
argument to not devil's argument to him, but no.
No, it's Foden. He has just been standout, hasn't he? You disagree? You've just put him in as number 1.
I have, but it's not an obvious number 1. Like, my list is all over the place because I don't think there's any obvious choices. Honestly, that's why my list, I could change this list tomorrow.
This doesn't happen
I don't
often.
think there's
But
any
you know
other
what's going to
choices.
happen? This doesn't happen often. It's going to be a first for me. I think people are going to...
Agree with you more than me.
I think people are going to write in the comments.
What was your list?
Rory's nailed this.
What was your
and
list?
Addy's had a mare.
What was your
My
list
list from 5 to 1.
Go on.
Destiny Udogie 5.
Good shout.
Cole Palmer 4. Gabriel at Arsenal 3. Declan Rice at Arsenal 2. Phil Foden Man City 1.
I think Liverpool fans are going to come and take your head off for not having no Liverpool
But
player
with
in there.
Liverpool...
You're not having no Liverpool player in
Because
there.
there isn't, in my opinion,
crazy.
there isn't a standard.
crazy.
I think the team, the cohesion of the team...
Virgil van Dijk, Trent, Salah,
Your
Alisson,
Van Dijk thing is
Virgil
ridiculous.
van Dijk. Mate, he's been the best centre-back in the league again.
We're going to have to let people
He's been the best centre-back in the league.
Right.
But your list is better than mine, though. Yeah, I'll give you that. Your list is destroying mine.
Thank you very much. Thank you to everybody for watching this video. I really do appreciate it. Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Make sure you click subscribe. And before you go, do me a favour. Adeola Depot's YouTube channel is linked in the description below. Please make sure that you head over there, click subscribe. He's got some fantastic content waiting for you. In a bit.